Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome. I'm Greg Gordon with Pyramind, and I'm here with Steve Hudson today, aka Yukon. We're opening up with a little track that he remixed a little while back. This is an Above and Beyond track originally, right?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, let's check this out for a second, and then we're going to chat about it a little. Pretty cool track, Steve.
It definitely takes a turn from the original.
It definitely does. So what inspired you to remix this track here?
I've always been a Above and Beyond fan. Contrary to the music that I produce and make now, Above and Beyond's always had that emotionally charged music, and I can honestly say for myself that their music has had a huge impact on my life, helped me get through, times where it was hard to see the light at the end. So first chance that I got that I felt comfortable, I kind of wanted to put my spin on one of their tracks.
It's pretty cool. Now, you did this track before coming to Pyramind, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
And so you found the stems, held on to them for a while, I think is what you were telling me earlier, right?
Yeah, I think I had the stems for, probably close to 2 or 3 years before I even thought about, remixing them.
So let's rewind the clock a little then. Before coming to Pyramind, you were out in Carolina, right?
Yeah, that's
South
correct.
Carolina?
Yep, down in Charleston.
Is that where you were born originally?
No, so I was actually born in Tacoma, Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Was there young age, moved to northern Michigan, back to Spokane, Washington, from Spokane to Minot, North Dakota, and then Columbus, Ohio.
Wow, you've been around, huh?
Yeah, I've definitely gotten around the country.
So I know you're a vet, right? You've been in the military, you've served, and that's partly how you were able to come out to Pyramind too. But I think you were telling me too, your dad served as well, right?
Yep. My dad's retired Air Force.
So you did a lot of moving around, I guess, as part of the family. That happens, right?
Yeah.
When you're in the Air Force.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so you fell in your dad's footsteps a little bit then, following in his footsteps?
Yeah, I did, but I'd be the first to tell you that it was completely unintentional. That it wasn't the plan, and I didn't see myself joining the military.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Sure.
You never know where life's going to take you.
That's right.
Knowing what I know now, I couldn't be more thankful for that decision. It definitely helped me mature a bit.
Yeah, and it's interesting because as Pyramind has seen a growth in more vets coming to study with us, I've certainly gotten to know more veterans and appreciate you guys on a whole different level, really. And so it's interesting for me because we have had such a growth in that sector. And tell us a little bit about why, you chose to come to San Francisco, and how did you end up finding Pyramind?
So I've always had I've always had a thing for the West Coast. I love the vibe out here. Living in Charleston, before I came to San Francisco, I'd never been to California, never been to San Francisco.
But you're ready to run for the hills now with all these fires, huh?
Well, I think I want to stay far away from the hills.
Yeah, well, just not the California hills. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, before coming here, knew nobody. I just so happened to stumble upon Pyramind's website. I knew I needed to go back to school, and this time around, I wanted to do it for something that I had a passion for, something that I knew I was going to do good at. So I hopped on their website, sent an email, thought on it for about a week or two, and was like, yeah, that's San Francisco and Pyramind. That's where my future is going to take me.
That's cool. So you were telling me earlier something about how you were how we responded to you, and the fact that we were able to reach out right away.
Yeah,
Just talk about that a little bit. I found that interesting.
Yeah, for sure. So I had reached out to another music production school, and I got a response back from about a day later saying, automated one saying, before you ever attend class here, you'll owe X amount of dollars.
Just to apply for the school?
It wasn't really to apply, but it was just, I guess they were letting the financial aspect be known right up front to you.
Yeah.
So to me, especially, with it being automated too, I was like, that just
didn't feel right.
I guess, or maybe all production schools like this, or I don't know. Then finding Pyramind, I wrote an email, and about an hour or two later, I got an email back from somebody here saying, hey, saw you're interested in going to school here. When are you available to chat on the phone? Told him tomorrow at this time. And we talked on the phone for probably 2.5 hours. He covered all my questions about any concerns I had, VA questions, whatever it was. And as soon as we got off the phone, I was like, yeah, that it showed me that Pyramind really cared more about the education and the student than they did the money stuff. And, now being here for, 9 months, I can still safely say the same thing, that ever since I've come here, it's never been about the money. It's about the education and whatnot. So I really appreciate that from you guys. It's really cool.
Yeah. And you've been able to use your GI Bill for the money stuff, which is cool. Yep. And then you've also been taking advantage of our local housing situation here too, right?
Yep.
At the Bonnie House.
Yep, that's correct.
So you're there with about how many other students, would you say?
Right now there is
about 10 or so?
Yeah, about that.
I can get up to about 14 over there.
Yeah, I think when I first moved in, there was 13 there. But it's been a very cool living situation.
Yeah. Well, it's been interesting too for me, because as we do these classes online, obviously because of COVID, a lot of our classes are being delivered online using Zoom, and it's always fun to see you guys on the other side, and I could see you each in your room at the Bonnie House.
I've had to make sure my room's clean before I hopped into class and make sure I got nothing behind me.
So what would you say has changed for you now? Because the track we heard, you actually did that remix before you even came to Pyramind, right?
Yeah.
So you had some pretty decent chops coming into this.
I haven't listened to that song in a while, and I actually listened to it about a week ago. I was showing a friend of mine some music that I made before I came, because my plan was to make that track and finish. I actually had a fairly big show that I was DJing before I came here. I was opening for Space Laces and Must Die.
Mm-hmm. Where was that?
And that was in Charleston. Yeah. So I was actually trying to get that track done for that show, but ultimately get it done before I came to school here at Pyramind. So then after my program, I could either go back and remake it, or make a second version of a remix of it, just to see, before and after. And going back and listening to it the other day, I was like, man,
it's pretty good.
Actually, I'm kind of impressed with 9 months ago, me.
So that means you should be really impressed with your today me, right?
I've just probably within the past month or two, I've gotten the confidence level now to where I want to start releasing my music and whatnot.
Yeah. And so now that you're kind of at that place, would you say musically, stylistically, your productions have changed? Because I know I've heard some of the stuff you're working on compared to that track, and it's kind of taken a whole different turn, right?
My style's always been all over the place. It's, for example, one of the tracks that I made, I sat down that day and I was like, man, I'm really feeling like a melodic deep house feel. Let's start with something like that. And it ended up being a 150 BPM trap song.
Okay.
Complete opposite. So for me, it's my style's been all about what I'm feeling that day, what I'm in the mood for, and once I get started on a project, maybe I hear a melody that I'm like, oh, that'll go really cool with this style. Let's try it out. And next thing you know, things are just flowing for that. Just run with it. So yeah, I guess. But overall, I've definitely taken a turn from more of the experimental bass, trap influenced music.
Is that the Yukon sound we're going for now?
Yeah.
Would you say? Yeah,
for sure.
I think you're spot on with that. So what would you say I guess you've been going to classes now for about 8 months or so?
Yeah.
In a 1-year program?
Yep.
Any highlights you want to kind of speak to? Anything that you feel like has really, really pushed your journey along, helped you really evolve your sound and get you kind of going on this track?
Yeah. So ultimately, it's having all the instructors taking the time to help me out, whether it's been after class or at Zoom scheduling meetings to chat about certain things. I've had some like real light bulb moments to say, and one of those light bulb moments was finding the confidence in myself and my tracks. I think I was in July sometime. I remember just sitting there and finally listening to the stuff that I was making. I'm like, wow, okay, I feel okay in this to start releasing. So I would say that was probably a big moment in my Pyramind student career here. I'm definitely thankful for that, and I know it's.
But I guess what I'm curious to know is, and maybe some of our listeners are too. What was it that kind of gave you that confidence boost? I mean, I know you spoke to the individual kind of being able to book meetings and getting office hours with the instructors. Was there anything in the curriculum itself that you felt was like a moment that kind of helped guide you in that path, or would it be a lot of things?
I mean, for me, it was just like a whole bunch of things together. For instance, coming here, one of the big questions I had for myself was the whole production and arrangement stuff. I could obviously tap it out, and I knew where things were supposed to go, but now trying to do it myself, for whatever reason, I had a hard time grasping that. That mixed with different sound design elements. Ben Wiley is one of the instructors. He's done a ton to help me out.
Hey, big shout out to Ben. That's great.
Thank him a lot for the time he's taken to chat with me on different things. Really appreciate that.
Also a great DJ too in his own right.
Yeah. He does his Thursday night shows called Isolate.
That's right.
Yeah, he had me as a guest artist on there back in August.
Fantastic.
It was a lot of fun to work with him.
Nice. Cool. So what are you looking forward to in these your last few months here at Pyramind as you try to wind up your curriculum with us, and what's on the ambition headlights for Yukon?
Well, I'll tell you first and foremost, what I'm not looking forward to is school ending. That's, man.
I know, right?
Yeah, I remember when I first came here, I was like, man, well, it's a year long. I definitely have time, and here we are 3 months away, and I'm like, shit.
I remember when we were talking about that 6 months ago, and we were teasing the idea of having you do a DJ set with us.
Yeah.
Which I know we're still going to do, aren't we?
Yeah. Hopefully here soon.
Awesome. So are you going to go back to Charlotte when you're done? Or Charleston? Charleston, South Carolina, right?
Yeah. Charleston. So my plan right now is pretty open. Looking at staying here in the Bay Area, but that's going to depend majority on finding a job or being able to have some sort of income to sustain here. If not, I'm also looking into going to Denver. Got a lot of friends out in Denver, and the scene there is for my style of music is pretty prominent. So
yeah, it sure is.
So
when you talk about getting a job, what does that look like for you? Do you think about getting a job in this industry? I mean, is that why you came to Pyramind, or did you come to Pyramind really to be a better producer and develop yourself as an artist?
Both. I guess it's kind of 50-50 split. I know that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life and as a career. I wasn't exactly sure what in the field I wanted to do, and I feel like now I'm leaning a lot more towards the mixing and mastering side of it. But I've still, I've ran my own shows, and done equipment setup, tear down, brand sound at shows. So thankfully I do have a background of kind of working in this industry. Um,
Did your military background play into that at all, would you say?
I'm sure it has.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, my attention to detail for sure, and whether that's production, going through making sure you do all the little tedious things in tracks, setting stuff up at a club, making sure when I'm responsible for their sound system and making sure I'm doing stuff right so I don't blow speakers or whatever it might be. Yeah, I definitely thank a lot of my military training for the detail stuff that I got.
And how's this? How would you say COVID has impacted your kind of future plans right now? Knowing that there's obviously it's tough for the clubs, it's going to be tough for live entertainment for a good while. So how's that impacting you as you think about your future right now?
Yeah, that's. I guess that's been one of the things that I've really been considering. Somebody in my position, coming out of school and looking for a job or a career in this field, what do you do in that time? Like, I don't know. That is a big question mark, and that's kind of a driving factor, I would say. And when I get done with school, where are we at in the country as far as clubs opening, shows? Is it something that I can get a job in right now? I don't know. It's
yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's made an already competitive and challenging situation even more so, much more so.
Yeah.
And I know that's why so many of our graduates look to the game audio industry, look to other aspects of the music industry to get employment if that's what they want to be doing.
Yeah.
But I think, for so many of us now, for those who are focused on artist careers and developing your brand, this is the time to be making music. This is the time to be producing.
And
right?
With the COVID going on, there's, you can always sit there and focus on the downside of it, the industry. But at the same time, looking at the positive sides, it's given me nothing but time to sit there and work on making music, developing skills within production, marketing, branding, whatever it might be. Also, in a career aspect of it, when you get out of school here, there's no entry time into the career field. You're going right up against the best people in the game at the time.
Right.
So it's given me time to, find out who those, best in the industry are and start, okay, what are they doing that's making them the best? It's given me time to reach out to artists and producers and, ask them about things. And the ones that have been willing to write me back, I've been more than grateful for their advice.
Sure.
So, and who knows, if this didn't happen, maybe they wouldn't have had time to reach back out. And so I'm definitely thankful for the bright sides in this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you just shared with me your EPK. It looks awesome, by the way.
Thank you very much. I'll give a shout out to Brian there at Animate Me Too. Okay, so thank you for that. It's awesome, man.
Yeah. And then the photo on there is pretty awesome too.
Yes, thank Pyramind for that. All the pictures I had before coming here, they were either action shots or I kind of made it a point to never try to take normal pictures. And then when it comes to business stuff, I was like, man, I really wish I had a normal looking or a professional looking picture.
Well, this shot makes you look like a real badass here. So I love it. I think it looks fantastic. You're looking like a king. So
yeah, you definitely did a good job on it.
I think you're well on your way. I'm excited to see the music you're going to make. I know you're in my advanced mixing and production class right now. So super excited to be working with you on some mixes, potentially a remix too that we've been talking about.
Yes, very excited about that.
So really excited to see where Yukon goes in the months and year ahead. We're obviously going to be staying in touch. And looking forward to shooting a DJ set with you eventually here too.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.
Right on, Steve. This has been a lot of fun. I think we'll close out with a little bit left of that track too, because anything you want to tell our listeners about this track other than the fact that it was such an inspiration for you and above and beyond and all that? What kind of drew you stylistically in this direction? Because this is kind of a big change from the original mix here.
Oh yeah. It's completely different, but stylistically, I've always been into dubstep. I've always been into bass music, and I wanted to put that spin to this song, but it's not one of those songs that where you're up on the rail trying to rip the rail out of the ground. I wanted to give it a bass remix, but emotional.
And still, I mean, to me, like this particular part right here has a very progressive feel to it.
This is from the original Stones.
This is from the original Stones.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, but it's got a really nice open feel to it. I like that a lot. And the vocals are sitting well in the track too. Yeah. All right. So let's play out the track. This has been a lot of fun. Thanks for chatting with me.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
You got it, Steve. Talk to you later.
Appreciate it.
Take care, everybody.
If you're an aspiring music producer and ready to evolve your sound, find out more about our San Francisco Ground Campus, online classes, and one-on-one mentorships at Pyramind.com.